Hi, we are honored to speak at the Aphasia Community Event last year. Thank you, for Leanne, for inviting us to join you this year. The video. I'm Debra Meyerson. In 2009, I was a professor at Stanford. I encouraged students to explore topics like gender, race, diversity, and identity. In 2010, I had a severe stroke. It robbed me of all speech. I had to relearn how to make the sound, how to say my name. I still have aphasia. Who am I now? I'm alive. For this, I'm grateful and lucky. Many things have changed. I live with disabilities. My right hand doesn't work. I walk with a limp. My speech is really difficult. But some things haven't changed. I cherish the same values, love the same family, work with the same determination. Losing my old life is the hardest part of my stroke. Rebuilding my identity as a stroke survivor with disabilities is the hardest part of my recovery.
So I'm Steve Zuckerman, Deb's husband, and for 3 years after her stroke, she did therapy almost full-time, PT, OT, speech therapy. We both thought that with enough work, she could regain her capabilities and go back to life as she knew it. We could go back to life as we knew it. But after 3 years of incredibly hard work, Deb's aphasia was still significant. She couldn't do all the things that being a professor involved, and she had to give up her faculty position. That really triggered an identity crisis for Deb and made both of us realize we would have to build different lives going forward. Deb started to use what she had learned as an academic about identity to look at her own situation. That led her to write Identity Theft, Rediscovering Ourselves After Stroke, a book that I think many of you have read. The writing process, including extensive interviews with more than 20 stroke survivors, made us realize how little help survivors get with their emotional journey in recovery, their journeys to rebuild their identities and rewarding lives in the face of ongoing disabilities. So just under 3 years ago, we started the nonprofit Stroke Onward with a mission of ensuring stroke survivors and their supporters have the resources needed to rebuild identities and rewarding lives. Well, that's the background of our story. But Leanne asked us to share a little bit about our latest project, Stroke Across America. Deb and I are riding across the United States on our tandem bicycle to raise awareness for stroke and aphasia. We talk a lot in our work about how important it is for survivors and their care partners to figure out what's really most important to them as individuals and, when in a relationship, as couples. And we talk about adaptation as a key approach, finding ways to do what's important even if the old way is no longer available. For us, exercising, the outdoors, seeing new places, all are things that rose to the top for us. Riding bikes together was a big part of our life before Deb's stroke, but she could no longer ride a bike alone. And the spasticity caused by her stroke, muscle cramps that persist today, often got in the way. For about 4 years, we experimented and adapted with a lot of different bikes until we found a ride that really worked for us. Stroke Across America isn't just about us riding across the country. It's a 3.5-month national event to raise awareness about stroke, aphasia, and the importance of rebuilding identity and recovery from traumas like stroke. And it keeps growing, somehow. It just keeps growing. The support we set up that we created for the ride could handle 5 riders, so we've invited 3 other survivors to ride with us. Joe Golden is 72. He rode across the U.S. for his 60th birthday and then had a severe stroke when he was 65 and started using a recumbent trike as part of his recovery as soon as he could. Michael Obalomia had a stroke in 2016 and, like Deb, experienced severe aphasia. He was, among other things, a high school educator, and he has used poetry to help recover his language. He recently published a book called Finding My Words, Aphasia Poetry. And Whitney Hardy isn't a stroke survivor, but the survivor of a traumatic brain injury. She was hit by a car in 2014 when she was 26 years old and has struggled to rebuild her life in the face of memory and processing disabilities. She's a close family friend of ours, and we're thrilled that she wants to use this ride to help rebuild her identity as an athlete and as an independent traveler. It's customary on a cross-country ride to dip your back wheel in the Pacific, which we'll do in Astoria, Oregon, just west of Portland. Then we'll start our 4,300-mile route heading east through Oregon, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, and down to Denver and Colorado. Then east to Kansas City and St. Louis, a bit north to Chicago, then Detroit, Deb's hometown, Buffalo, New York, and across New York State and Massachusetts to dip our front wheel in Boston, Massachusetts. As of now, we're planning 17 community events along the way. As I said earlier, the goal is to raise awareness. In addition to those events, we're working on lots of other ways to raise awareness and to get people involved. Our tagline for Stroke Across America is Join the Journey. And that's not just the journey across America. That's the journey to help make healthcare for stroke survivors better. We'll be updating our website daily with blogs, videos, and pictures once we get riding. We're working on a way for people along the route to ride with us for part of a day. A bike tour outfitter created 5 segment tours for us. People can take a fully supported bike vacation for a week and ride along with us. And we're working on a virtual ride where groups of people can sign up, ride on any bike or stationary bike wherever you want, log your miles, and track your progress as a team against our progress. And for those who can't ride a bike of any kind, we're working on ways teams can translate other activities, walking, adaptive sports, and the like, into the biking miles they can enter. Truth be told, we're still building this ship even as we're starting to sail. So lots more details to come on all those opportunities. And at the end of this, we'll have our website address. At the end of this video, we'll have our website address where you can find all the latest information and sign up for periodic bulletins we're sending as new features of the journey are put in place. So if you're interested in following our progress, or hopefully joining the journey in some way, please do go to our website at strokeacrossamerica.org, or you can get there from a homepage of our Stroke Onward site too. Sign up for our mailing list and you'll get our periodic bulletins that we're sending when new features of our journey are ready to share.
Thank you for including us on an event for keep up the great work. Thank you.
Thanks.